Hello and welcome to another tea time with me, Meoni. This time I'm joined by my girlfriend Fran. How you doing?
Hi.
And once again, we thought we'd hop on and do a tea time. Mostly this one will be a bit of a discussion really about 2020 and what Final Fantasy XIV sort of brought us, what we were most satisfied with. I would say what we hated the most, but we've sort of not really come up with anything, have we?
No, dislike maybe, but not hate.
Yeah, I think the H word's too harsh.
Too harsh, yeah.
Because this year has been pretty exceptional, in my opinion. I don't know, really. It all sort of kicked off with 5.1 in regards to after the expansion launch, but we should probably talk about the expansion as a whole. I think that Shadowbringers has been a massive success. Mostly because, in my opinion, it works better from a narrative standpoint and a gameplay standpoint to be working on one front. So the majority of this has all been focused on the first, right? On that particular world, with those particular zones, as opposed to flicking back and forth. So in many ways, I like that much more than the Stormblood idea, where we were working based on Girabania 1 minute, and Vendoma the next. What do you think about that? Did you like the fact that we were switching between two areas?
To be fair, I'm not really bothered, to be fair.
You're not bothered?
No, when it comes to a new expansion, if they bring you a new area, I'm just like, woo, this is pretty.
Yeah.
And I don't really focus on the story as much as people would, but
Like me.
Yes. I normally pay attention to like the surroundings, like if I'm doing when I got the early access for Stormblood, you see everyone running around doing the story quests and all this, that, and the other. And then there's me just wandering around going, look at this. Ooh.
Everyone's like that, though.
No, well, back when I was on Libby, that was it. No one was standing around and like fannying around like me and looking around, and no, they were just on doing the story, and that was it.
Here's one for you, though. Week 1 of Stormblood, okay? The first 2 days queuing up for Raban.
Oh.
We didn't have that this time.
No, which is good. They learned from their mistakes.
In a big way, because you have a choice of where you go at the start, and I think that's a really, really positive thing that they implemented, and I hope they do it again. That's something that World of Warcraft have done for the past, 4 expansions, where you do not put all of your people, all of your player base into one zone at the start. It does not work very well. So having that, you can choose to do either, what was it, Amarang, wasn't it? Amarang or...
The other one,
The other one, with twine in it. What is that called again? I can't even remember.
I can't remember.
Colucia, right?
Yeah.
There we go. My brain just had a massive potato. It's one of those
one of them days.
One of them days.
One of
We'll
them
go
days.
for that. But yeah, I like that, and hopefully they go forward with that idea, because it did fix the problem.
Also, I did notice on some occasion they instanced the old areas as well.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really good idea, because obviously the new areas, they would instance for new content because of the amount of people that come on for the new content.
Yeah.
So instancing old areas as well is a really good idea, especially Limsa. Oh my god.
What was that actually instanced?
I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that the hometowns were instanced.
I did not know that. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Well, that's kind of amazing if that's the case. And I recognise that there was a few places that were a great place to do that with would be Mordona, in my opinion. I really didn't pay attention. I just picked up the quest and blasted through it.
Or was it Mordona that was instanced?
Was it Mordona?
I don't know, but they were definitely instanced.
Yeah, the instance system is pretty good. I'd like to think that it would be implemented as an automatic system, so they wouldn't have to do anything. I don't know if it is. I don't know any of the behind-the-scenes stuff at Square, but I would imagine that it would be fairly simple to implement something like that, where if it reaches a certain amount, it creates another shard or whatever. because if it's anything like the other games I've played, such as like Arcade or many other, well, not Arcade, but other games, or Black Desert, once an instance is kind of reaching its sort of fill, it sort of creates another option for you to, on the drop down, you're like, oh, I'll choose this one. Or when you go to an aetheryte and you switch between those particular shards for hunts, which is the other thing that people have been exploiting.
But it is kind of annoying, especially if an S rank pops and you're trying to get into the instance and it's like, nope, too many people. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if, let's say, an S rank popped up in one instance, then it should pop up in the other two instances. So then you're not going to miss out on it.
Yeah, but the nature of how most of those S ranks are spawned is based on stuff like fishing.
Oh, that's very true.
So you'd
or
have
standing out with a certain minion or...
Yeah, so you'd have to, like, do it in all of the instances.
Well, yeah, so you grind for it.
Yeah, but I don't... I'm sure there are people who already did that anyway, who hopped between each of the instances.
I mean,
grinding.
I did for the Formidable Fate.
Right, okay, yeah, to try and get the toad mount.
Yes.
Very cool. That's another thing that Shadowbringers brought, was a lot more attention to fates being special again. And that's something that I don't think Stormblood really had. I mean, we had Ixion.
I remember waiting 22 hours for that.
We had Ixion, and we also had the Fox Fate. Did we?
The Fox Fate, of course.
Did we have much else?
I can't think of, no. But with Shadowbringers, we had the one
Kidamaru.
in Tempest.
We had Kidamaru, the one in Yangshi that drops the 200 sword that everybody uses because it looks like clouds.
Oh, yes.
But that's not on a timer, that's just appears.
Yeah. That's the achievement fate, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Because each section has an achievement fate.
That's right, yeah.
But to be fair, I don't think I've done all the achievement fates even in the old areas.
Oh, well.
Which I was trying to get myself around to do.
What I'm saying is Shadowbringers added, like, this Formidable, and then there's the one in the Tempest.
Yes, that one.
Which is insane.
It is mad.
So was there only two? I
don't think there's a third one.
Of course, you've got the achievement fates and stuff for the little things, but in terms of mounts and stuff,
not that I can think of right now. No.
There's been a much heavier emphasis, I think, on housing items this expansion.
Yep.
And the bicolor gemstone system, that's something I will praise, because it actually allows you to grind away on these fates, getting experience for your alternate classes at the same time as actually working towards something.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit senseless, but you were going to do it anyway if you were going to go and do fates. So to get bicolor gemstones and the whole leveling up system of that bicolor system, and then having almost like reputation unlocks.
Yeah.
Like you've got these max rank in all of these zones, and suddenly there's another vendor that opens in the Crystarium. I love that. But what I like more about that system is the fact that every so often, every couple of patches, they add new stuff to those vendors. That was really cool to me. I'm like, whoa, they've added, like the recent one, the wheel, the celestial wheel map thingy that Oriane J had in the Ilmeg house. That was added.
And the Amaro minion.
Which,
adorable.
Just incredibly adorable. So all of those little things were just little extra bits to work towards. They made you go into those zones.
Yeah.
Which is something Stormblood never did. There was nothing to make you go into those zones.
Mount speed as well, wasn't it? You can buy mount speed with it. I'm pretty sure. No.
You get mount speed, don't you?
Yeah, I know, but I can't remember how you upgraded the mount speed in the new areas.
Just by ranking it up.
Oh, okay.
And then you go to the actual bicolor gemstone vendor and purchase the
that's
item.
what I mean.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember. Put me on the spot there. I couldn't really remember how you did it, and then you're like, oh yeah, you have to unlock it first and then you buy it.
But yeah, I remember grinding the fates for, what was this? You had to do 66 basically in each area.
Yeah.
Because you needed to do the basics and then 66. But I was leveling out classes at the time, so it was just helpful.
The best thing about that, though, is like fates like Formidable and the other one heavily require people to do the other fates in the area.
Yeah.
Right, the Tempest one.
Like you got to do prerequisite ones.
Yeah, so it was naturally spawning all of the achievement fates just because people were farming their gemstones. It was a really good. It just worked together really well. I liked that feature a lot. But yeah, I'd like to see more of the bicolor gemstone stuff. Call it whatever you want, but I think that system really helped in the grand scheme of things. One thing I didn't like about this expansion, overall, no deep dungeon.
That's very true.
That's the one thing I will say does go against it. Mostly not just because of the leveling potential, but also because there's plenty of ways to level, but also the fact that there was no deep dungeon, there was no challenge to work towards. I mean, I've not done the other two to the top floors, but the fact that there's no challenge this time,
See, I've only done Heaven on High to floor 100 once.
I've never done that. Never got up there. So.
I haven't even done Palace of the Dead.
I think the furthest I went down was like 190 something. Because there's 200, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 200 floors, yeah.
Yeah, and we died to like a Minotaur or something.
Oh, I hate Minotaurs. They ruin the fun.
But yeah, maybe that's something we can do this year, is work towards maybe doing some Heaven on High or Palace of the Dead together.
Sure, sounds good.
We could figure that out. And probably argue with each other horribly as we do it. Because that's usually what would happen. Maybe that's the true relationship test, is if you can actually get through all 200 floors.
If you make it to floor 200, you're compatible.
Without killing each other. Yeah, dear, that would be quite fun. We could stream that maybe.
Yeah.
And people could see us tear each other's hair out and just...
Maybe
not.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, so that's the one thing I think was missing primarily. Apart from that, it's been mostly positive. I'm trying to think of negative stuff, but
I can't think. The only other negative thing I would say was the ending to Eden.
Here we go. Now this is going to be a controversial one for some people.
I did not think. I mean, I enjoyed the first one. Can't remember what they called it.
Edenverse, no?
Edenverse, yeah. Edenverse, I liked that one.
Right. What did you like about it?
I thought the story was interesting up to that point.
Right. So what about the ending of this really annoyed you?
But the end, it was just a bit like, just It wasn't anything special. Even the last boss, it's well done, obviously.
I mean, Queen Pineapple Breasts.
Yes, Queen. It's more like raspberries, or isn't it?
I was thinking pineapples.
Blub, blub, blub,
Someone on Reddit posted a picture of just like a pile of pineapples. I was like, yep, that's the boss. Just slap a sticker on it. Yep, that's the boss done now.
I mean, some of the mechanics in that it's actually really cool. Oh
yeah, the mechanics are cool, but the bosses are kind of
lackluster.
Well, we were all expecting a certain other boss from Final Fantasy VIII, but I don't think we really got that. So we got like a Final Fantasy VIII style ending, which I was not surprised at. I was like, oh, look, they've recreated this step by step. I mean, this is spoiler territory. So, but, I found that the bosses were a little bit, not unoriginal, just a little bit lacking. The first boss, Cloud of Darkness, we've been there, we've seen that. It was just yet another, I mean, I know why it had to be there, but at the same time, I'm like, meh.
I mean, but job well done on the mount. I saw someone with it, and it does look really nice.
The second
and
boss,
I can't wait to, in a million years, finally get that for myself.
Yeah, when we unsync it. The second boss being like Cerberus, essentially.
The Cerberus fight, I think, was quite nice.
I just kind of felt like we were doing World of Darkness again, because we had Cloud Darkness, then we have Cerberus.
A Shadow Cerberus.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then the third fight being, spoilers, Thancred, basically. Because it's a memory of them escaping, him and Reen escaping. which I thought was a bit, just, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood at the time, but you I don't know. You could hear in my reaction when we were actually going through it, because I'd seen nothing of it, and I was just like, oh, okay. The only good thing about those first 3 fights was the music. Actually,
agreed.
all 4 fights was the music.
Agreed.
The final theme is amazing. You know, and then you have stuff like The Extreme and, you know, Final Fantasy 8 tracks, basically. So it's an instant win with me. But as to the fights, I thought they were a little bit like, okay, maybe. And the final boss was just like, why? I just didn't understand why, really. I was like, well, why are you now a pineapple-breasted giant?
Tree woman.
Yeah, I was like, well, wait, this is not an evil sorcerer that's gone through time like I suspected. This is just, I mean, without going, I'm tempted to say the words that would spoil the actual plot, but I can't. I can't bring it.
Yeah, no, don't.
I can't say it.
Maybe in a later.
Yeah, but I just thought it was like, okay, this boss is like really aesthetically displeasing. I do not appreciate it. The storyline just fell flat a bit at the end as well. I don't know. It just felt too. I don't know. If we were to compare it to Omega's storyline, I said this to people in Discord the other day, and I said, which would you rather have if you could only have one?
Omega.
Right? The Eden storyline or the Omega storyline? The Omega storyline's ending made me cry. It was that good.
Yeah. It was, and the fights were fun.
Yeah. They were really good.
The
Alphascape series was incredible. The last
and the
ones.
Sigmascape.
Yeah, Deltascape was fun as well, actually.
That I had no complaints about that, and then obviously the minion you get at the end is adorable.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun. Like all of the fights were so different as well. Think about it. We had Phantom Train. We had Demon Chardnook with the paintings. We had, you know, all the Final Fantasy VI references and so on. We had stuff like Guardian, which was just horrible. But like, there was only a couple of fights that I really did not like, and then you had
hated the Omega one.
Actual Omega.
I liked
the big beetle robot.
I hated that one. That was the worst one for me. I could not get my head around which side he was shooting his laser beams.
And then the last one, which was basically Adam and Eve, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did like that. I did. I ended up buying both the minions off the market board.
They're so good though.
They're adorable.
Like that fight is so good on Savage difficulty.
I know. Well, from parts that I saw of it, because obviously we did it unsynced. And
we did our
whatever.
cheese strat.
But it was really good, and
it's hard.
Considering I don't really do Savage content, realistically, I don't.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
You could appreciate the pain and suffering that people went through.
Yeah, well, because we only did a little bit of it, whereas people had it a lot worse when they first did it.
Well, when we were slower on the DPS, you started to see some of the other mechanics, and people just were like, "What is this?" And it's like, yeah, that's literally.
Yeah, we're not supposed to see this.
I would say like stuff from a previous tier. People were saying, "Oh, EA test," so like Shiva on Savage was like hard. I was like, not really in comparison to the Alphascape stuff. Like I thought that Shiva was easier. Not that we cleared it in our static, but I felt that she was easier than what I call Adam and Eve. That fight with the before it turns into the giant robot in phase 2. I don't know.
Because it's the numbers and the positionals that screw people over.
Yeah. I think I prefer fights in Savage that have a checkpoint halfway.
Yes, agreed.
Because Shiva didn't have that, and it annoyed me so much. We would have got clears if we had a checkpoint system to learn the other half of the fight in our static. Because we'd learned most of the first phase, but by the time we got to the second phase, we got through the first couple of mechanics or whatever, and then we completely forgot what we were doing, or we just weren't prepared for it, or we didn't have enough time to practice on it. Yeah. Because like Rampant, if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. There's no right way of recovering that. So it was completely unforgiving. So getting back there to that second phase took us way too long, even though we perfected it. I say perfected it, but one step too far left or whatever, and a ball hits you and you're all dead. right, as you probably saw on my streams, it's frustrating. So I'd much rather have the Alphascape system. In terms of the Savage raiding that I have done in this expansion, I've really enjoyed it. But the diversity of bosses doesn't match to what we had in Stormblood, in my opinion. So that, in that way, I think Stormblood is a better Savage experience. And I know that's really weird for me to say, and I feel dirty saying it, but I like Stormblood for that particular point more, even if the rest of it didn't tick a box for me.
Yeah.
The trials in Shadowbringers are exceptional. Although some of them are a lot easier than they should have been. Like Innocence, great place to start, right? Very easy extreme. Very easy. You can go in there, baby's first extreme fight, clear it easily. There's 2 lines that you draw with the spears that you walk either side of a boss room. You stand either side of a boss room when he does a charge. You know, that's it, basically. There's the explosive things not to stand there.
Even when I watched you stream it, and I was like, do you know what? I probably could do this because...
And then we had Titania.
I haven't done that one.
Titania, I mean, it confused me a little bit with the ad phase until we were, oh, right, there's a specific order. And phase 2 is basically just stand here and then rotate. And that's it. So that one's really simple. I had no problems there. I'm trying to think. Hades was so much fun. Hades is probably one of the most fun trials I've done in a long time. It was just... There was so much happening at once. It took us a while to learn that one. All
right. I look forward to doing that.
But it was a lot of fun. It feels good. But I will say, in 5.3 and 5.4, the ones that have disappointed me, but been pleasant, they're pleasant, but they've disappointed me a little bit, was Seat of Sacrifice and the new one, Emerald Weapon. And the reason I'm saying that they're disappointing isn't because the boss fights themselves are disappointing. They're cool. I love the music in them. I love the fight themselves. They're a little bit too easy for this late into the expansion, I think.
Oh, I like easy.
I'm saying that they are incredibly easy. Like, if you look at if there was a percentage, like a Lucky Bancho or something, of the percentage of people that cleared Emerald on Extreme compared to Hades, you'd be blown away, honestly, by how many people have cleared it. I mean, you can see how many people have got the Emerald weapons in the cities as you walk around. You know, there's several people I didn't think would have a weapon that do, for example. But I think that, and a lot of people are going to come back and say, well, Hades was a main storyline fight. Obviously, the extreme is going to be harder. Not really, if you're considering Seat of Sacrifice. That was a main storyline fight. Arguably should have been a much more powerful boss, being who it actually was, that we can't spoil. You know, that was a big deal. But it was 10 times easier than Hades. Especially for Pogs. Like, I'm confident that I could go into Party Finder right now and do both Seat of Sacrifice and Emerald Weapon, right? Without any communication.
Oh my god.
All you need to know is that one position.
Yeah.
And that's it. The rest is self-explanatory. The Emerald Weapon arrows, you know where to put them automatically because, well, the arrows are only one direction. There's only one place you can put them. The only thing you need to know is, oh, I'm paired with this fella. We're popping this ball, then that ball. That's it.
Right.
That's phase 1. And phase 2 is so self-explanatory. You're making, the crosses go in the corners, and the pluses go in the corners, and the crosses go in the middle of the cardinals.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
Once you know that, you don't need to talk anymore. You don't need markers. It's hilarious.
Fair enough.
But so I think that, I don't know, was Stormblood harder for me on Extreme? Shinryu was hard. Shinryu was a real...
Oh, I remember when my sister told me about Shinryu when Extreme when it first came. She was like, oh, you won't want to do that.
And it was one of the first. In fact, it was the first, wasn't it? No. Lakshmi and Susanoo.
Yeah.
And then you had
And then you had Shinryu.
Shinryu.
But, no, well, obviously unsynced, it's a lot more fun. For me, anyway. I can't imagine doing it synced. Ooh, no.
You know what we have to do? We have to do a minimum item level run synced of Shinryu.
No.
Just to show you what it's like.
No.
Is that your idea of hell?
Yes, that is my idea of hell. Let's not do that, shall
That's
we?
something to do by the end of the year.
No.
You must overcome this to earn your badge of honour. No? Okay.
Changing the subject. Moving on. Nier raids, yeah.
Oh, the Nier raids.
Everyone loves Nier raids.
The Alliance raids. So we had Return to Ivalice in Stormblood.
Yeah.
What did you? How does it compare to Nier?
To be fair, I love Final Fantasy 12. So seeing who we see, I don't know if people haven't done it still or not.
The Ivalician
Can you
world.
class it as spoilers? I don't know.
Oh, you can talk about that now.
But yeah, I loved it. I loved the music. The first raid, I did it when it first came out, and I remember people rage quitting due to
every time.
The first one I loved. The second one, it had to grow on me a bit because
was that Orbon? Or was Orbon the third? I can't remember.
Yeah,
You got rid around a lighthouse. I think Ridorana was second, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ridorana was second, like that house.
With Yasmin.
And then, yes.
And Construct.
Yeah. I had to get used to the maths thing, because I was like, what?
Hey, I learned how to do prime numbers from that fight.
So did I.
Not going to lie.
But it grew on me, but I like the Ridorana as well. But the last one, I remember doing that first time, and I mean, I love it because Fran's in it. Who doesn't love Fran? but the first time I did it, it was just painful. The what's it? The Thunder God.
I think Ultima was the best fight in that.
Oh, that was the ending, wasn't it?
Yeah, the actual fight with Ultima.
It was, and then I didn't run fast enough, and I managed to die.
With a big dome of shield, and then you have to defeat the little things, and everything around you starts to fall into just complete destruction.
All the time I got stuck in 2 bits of ice, and then 5 people in this small little area had AoEs on them, and it was like, oh, okay, we're dead. We've got nowhere to go. Or if you don't move, like I had really bad lag issues on where I used to live, and
yeah,
I got flattened by the ice at one stage. The ice that she puts on the floor to separate the areas.
Really?
I didn't move because it just flashed yellow on my screen because it was lagging that bad.
Oh.
And I got killed by the ice.
So it just appeared. It didn't really tell you.
It just like flashed yellow on the floor. It was like, nope, you have a second to move, and it was like, nope, you're dead. You're gone.
So how does your Ivalice experience compare to Nier then? Because I know.
Well,
see,
I love Nier.
Yeah, that's the thing with you. You it must be Christmas for you because you love the Nier Automata game and you love Final Fantasy 12 and the Ivalice game world. Yeah. So, is it tricky for you to choose a favourite out of the 2 series?
Well, I don't complain about them. The only thing I didn't like with the Nier one was the first one was okay. I liked it. The music was really nice and cool, but the second one, music was disappointing.
In comparison.
In comparison to the first one, and some of the bosses were like powerhouses, which I don't get. They I don't know if they changed it or the fact that we got better gear now that it just works a lot better now, but. When we first did it, it was like it wasn't even losing health.
You see, back in 5.1 when the Copied Factory came out, one of the things about that particular, like Copied Factory for me was the better of the 2.
Yeah, definitely.
That might be controversial, but I think it was the better of the 2, without a doubt. Mostly based on the bosses themselves, because there's nothing better than Engels. as a boss.
Yeah.
Like, that enormous, just hulking frame. People who had never played Nier before, right? I know for a fact there are several people who were like, oh my god, Meoni, what is this? I was like, that's angles. This is exactly like in Nier Automata. And they're like, wait, what? Why didn't I play this game? And it was exactly that point. The bosses were fleshed out. And when you did see bosses like that in the flight suits and stuff, it compelled people to go and get the Nier game.
Yeah.
Their sales must have gone boom. It's a great thing.
I remember when I first got the Nier and Nier Automata from PlayStation 4, and I played it, and I was just like, oh my god.
Mind blowing, yeah.
I mean, it's a very fast-paced game. Very fast-paced.
Yeah.
Which I like fast-paced games sometimes. But this game was exceptional. The music, Square has never let me down on any game they have ever made with their music. Their music is like perfection.
That I have to back that up because I'm trying my hardest to find a Squaresoft game.
I want them to do a Square orchestra.
Like Distant Worlds.
Yes, but not just Final Fantasy. All the Square games.
Yeah, that sounds like Distant Worlds then.
Distant Worlds? I thought that was only Final Fantasy related.
No.
Because I went to Distant Worlds and they only played Final Fantasy.
What's the other one? Video Game Orchestra or whatever they're called. I can't remember.
I don't know, but Distant Worlds definitely just played Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm getting mixed up. It was that one.
Because the Eorzea one is just 14.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I'd like to go to any of them, honestly, but
it was absolutely amazing, the one I went to.
Current world situation's making it so I don't get to enjoy any of this stuff at the moment. So.
But it was absolutely stunning. Absolutely, some of the cosplays were absolutely mental that I saw there. It was great. The
Alliance raid then.
The Copied Factory definitely was my favourite out of the two.
I think it was the highlight. Like, if you were going to bring out a patch to follow up Shadowbringers, like the 5.0, because we'll call it a patch as well as an expansion, 5.1, I think, was one of the nicest patches we've ever had. It really was. We had so much good stuff in there. We had the Grand Cosmos, just to refresh people. We had Hades and Hades Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had when... Ultimate Alexander came out for the people who were in the hardcore sort of area. We had Blue Mage stuff. We had a PvP update for Onsal Hakir. We had the first part of Ishgard Restoration in 5.1.1. You know, we had the
Beast Tribes.
The Beast Tribe addition with the Pixies. You know, which was just amazing. We had the custom delivery client. We had all sorts of crap, and the crafting and gathering overhaul, which was huge. That took a lot of buttons off of my bar, and we had the first part of New Game Plus. You know, it was a really, really solid patch. And I think out of all of them, I don't know, which was your favourite patch? What was your favourite edition?
I quite liked the Dwarven Beast Tribe.
Okay, so that was what, 5.3?
3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was... I do like the Dwarven Beast Tribe. It was adorable.
Because 5.2 we had the Ronka, right?
Yes.
With the gathering.
In the
Raktika Greatwood.
Greatwood, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good story, by the way.
It was a good story, that one, but I preferred the Dwarven Beast Tribe. I thought it was more adorable.
I just think they did really well with the Beast Tribes this time around. I don't think anything can ever compare to Stormbloods, though. But the only thing of Stormblood that saved it for me, like the Ananta were okay, right? They're okay, right? The Kojin bored me. But the Namazu, the writing, just the cinematography, the cutscenes, the fact that they decided to develop new tech to actually make those cutscenes, which has actually made it into the main storyline now. The music, everything about the writing and everything on screen for that particular thing made Stormblood amazing. I actually said at the time, you remember the last patch that came out for Stormblood?
Yeah.
And it added the Alliance Beast Tribe quest, so all of the Beast Tribe working together. And it was pretty much centered around the Namazu.
Yes.
Right? Interacting with everyone else. At the time, the finale of Stormblood, I felt was shockingly bad. And I said this whilst we were all talking on Discord a long time ago. I don't know if you were there for that.
I don't think I was.
I think that was pre-you. right? And I said, wow, the main storyline was awful. And then I went and did the Beast Tribe quest, and I said, oh my god, this is the best writing I've seen in the last 2 years. It was honestly better than Stormblood's plotline. The entire expansion was awful in comparison to that writing. Whoever did the writing and the work on the Beast Tribe, they should have been working on the MSQ.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm not kidding here. I felt that it was a better storyline. It had better cutscenes, had better characters. I know it was like a humour thing. Oh, this is a big meme, the Namazu. But it turned out to be way better, even past being a meme. You know, I don't know. Every time there was a rank up for the Namazu, it was always like Christmas Day for me. I was like, oh my god, let's see what they're up to next. And then like they end up setting each other on fire, or you know, drinking too much tea or whatever it would be. And then you had the finale, and then you got the gratuity emote, and it's just like, oh my god. You know, and then all through Stormblood as well, when the Namazu appeared, like Lise kicking that Namazu, I was bursting out laughing. I wish I could have streamed back then. I was peeing myself laughing.
Yeah.
At that. I don't know. I just felt Stormblood fell flat, but the actual other content didn't. It made it better. Whereas this time, the MSQ has been incredible.
Yeah.
Right? And the side content's been heartwarming little storylines, but the dwarfs I didn't like.
Oh, right, fair enough.
You know, you liked them. I thought that the dwarven storyline was boring.
Fair enough.
But it's each to their own, isn't it? That's what Final Fantasy has, though. There's a bit for everybody. And they're not
it's
always...
like some people don't like the Mandeville, and I love the Mandeville personally.
Yeah, Mandeville storyline's amazing. And
yeah, but some people find it quite stupid.
it is stupid. It's deliberately stupid.
Yeah, I know, but
And
some people don't appreciate that.
You need a mix of things in a game. You can't just have super serious all the time. It's the same people who say, like, you can't have a regalia because it's immersion breaking. You can't have a brimmed hat in the game because they wouldn't have brimmed hats in the game, you know, like the new biker hat.
Oh,
which is basically a cap.
But that's the thing I like about this game. You have fantasy clothing and you have regular, normal-looking clothing.
Yeah.
Because in the Final Fantasy games, you have people that are wearing somewhat normal clothes, or you have them wearing, like, armour, like, to the gods or whatever. You style your character how you want them to look.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like Final Fantasy XII, you're not going to see Vaughn walking around in a brimmed hat and a suit, are you? or some Crocs.
Crocs! If they add Crocs to this game, I'm done. I'm unsubbing my subscription.
But 14 is just an amalgamation of so many different styles and different games. And they always wanted it to be that way.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be the place where you could have Noctis walking down a road next to your character, next to a Namazu. You know, they wanted that. And it's a nice little hub.
It is.
And I don't understand the argument of immersion. I really don't.
But that's like, well, in this game, I'm sorry to point this out, but there are elephants that can fly.
There are elephants that can fly.
And there are
magical.
T-Rexes that can fly.
Magical elephants, though.
Okay.
And the carpet's magical because of a cloud's breath. That's how they... Oh, that was it. The elephant ate too much cloud's breath and now it can fly permanently. Koji Fox is a genius when it comes to writing all of the mount text for this game. Because he's like... I think one of them, it was just like, something to do with cloud's breath. Yeah. It's like, yeah, just try and explain it. Because someone's going to be there. They're going to be wearing a red shirt. Be like, well, actually, if you remember... how is it possible that this particular motorbike can fly? Cloud's breath. Ceruleum. Next. Oh, dear.
But no, I'm glad all the mounts can fly now because it was a pain in the butt having the mount roulette and then you get one that don't fly, so then you have to re-roll again.
That's when they added like the two buttons where it was like
the
flying mount roulette and a normal mount roulette.
And now you don't need that anymore.
So that you can take away the other button now.
Yeah.
You know. But it was how it should have been in the first place. Also, another massive thing that Shadowbringers bought us. What? Flying in Old World.
Ah, yes. We've wanted to...
That's a game
it's
changer.
getting around so much easier now.
It's such a game changer. Like, we were, the other day, me and Fran, when I was helping Fran with her achievements, you get an achievement for killing pretty much every one of the B ranks on the list for the old zones, right?
Yes.
And A ranks and stuff like that. But we were working through the B ranks for an achievement, because, something to do. Well, we forgot that we could fly at first, and then when you realise, oh my god, how fast you can cover those zones with flying.
Just to look for this B rank and all the different locations.
You forget how much crap's in the way of A to B.
Yeah, it's so much nicer to fly.
A perfect example would be, is it Camp Bronze Lake, where you can fly over the lake where Wanderer's Palace is to get to the other side. You don't have to go to the pier to talk to a boatman to load up a boat transition.
I was thinking of Eastern Danalan. I think it's Eastern Danalan with that horrible area with all the glowy, the Burning Wall. No.
Oh yeah, it's called the Burning Wall.
The Burning Wall is the worst area ever, and flying just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, that was where the calamity happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the crystals, the gold-coloured crystals.
But that is the worst area, so flying in there is just heaven.
It is, yeah. But finding your quest objective is still complete potato.
Oh, yeah.
Although they did add the up and down arrows to quest
new
objectives.
Areas.
They've done it to old ones.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only new ones.
Mm-mm. It's there now.
Well, okay, that makes life a bit easier because now you know which level you're on.
That's right. But it was still horrible because you had to fight through every single monster on the way. Or at least you did back when it was, when we were level 50 capped, but that was a long time ago.
That was.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we should really talk about Glamour. We should really talk about Glamour.
Glamour, okay.
Because the differences between Stormblood and Shadowbringers in terms of Glamour. So this will be probably tricky for you to remember all of the stuff, but...
Well, yeah, because I'm not really savvy on it's whatever. Okay, I like this outfit. I'm
take the Quain Trolls, for example.
Oh, they were my favourite.
Yeah. And then you've got
the dress
and the new stuff. So how does the new stuff...
Right, I'm still annoyed that they haven't sorted more tops for the Quantrail skirt, though. I mean, the biker jacket looks nice with it. The Dalmascan drape top looks nice with it. That top, the one you got me, the buttoned white one with, like, the bit here, it's open here.
Is it the school one?
No.
That annoyed me that the school one doesn't work with it, actually.
The school one annoyed me because it's roughly the same length as the biker jacket, maybe a bit longer, and it don't work with the skirt, which is really annoying. It doesn't
make sense, though, does it? Because you can see on my character right now, look with a belt, it's clipping through the skirt.
Yeah.
That's allowed, but something that's like 2 inches slightly higher doesn't work. It's so weird that the issues...
Or they could, if you equip a top, they could, I don't know, because you know how if you put on a hat, it gets rid of hair?
Yeah.
It squishes your hair down.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So why can't they do the same for the skirt so that it kind of adjusts the top to fit it?
I'm sure there'll be some budget constraints as a reason.
But I want more tops for the Contrail skirt still because it really is a nice skirt. Although sitting down is a problem, but I do like the skirt still.
I think the other thing, though, the more elephant in a room situation for Shadowbringers that a lot of people will say that they don't like is the addition of Viera and Hrothgar. And I think the reason they'll say that is because of the fact that if you want to change your hairstyle as a Hrothgar, you have to pay for Fantasia. Yeah. And if you want to actually wear anything on your head, square it as a Viera, at least.
Well, that's because I used to be a Viera, didn't I? But I got sick of not wearing a hat, so I changed to Makoto.
Right. I mean, I was just literally looking here, and there's a Viera crafting in the background, and every time I see them, they're hardly wearing anything on their hat. Head area. Like
the headpiece I used to wear was that one from the cash shop with the bow with the dangly bits. You know, the bow on the head. Yeah. I'd wear that one.
Or the peach corsage.
All the time. Like I wouldn't wear that. But yeah, I'd wear that all the time because there was nothing else I could wear.
I find it weird though how it's like we're getting new items being made now, like from the ground up, that aren't including Viera. Yeah. Because I was under the impression that they were like, oh, right, well, they can't backwards compatible all these items. That's fair enough, Square. There's hundreds and hundreds of items. No problem, right? But can we at least have, when you create a new item that's going into a cash shop or into the game, an expansion later or patches of an expansion later, can you actually include Viera and Hrothgar in this, please?
I mean,
but we
the
haven't got that.
Headpieces, they could, because some headpieces get rid of your ears entirely.
Yeah.
So why can't they do that for Viera? Some headpieces just get rid of the ears and you just wear the headpiece.
Yeah, I mean, Viera have floppy ears. They can flop.
Yeah. So they don't have to... So they could just wear... Like your hat, for example.
Yeah.
And their ears just disappear, but they're still wearing the hat.
Or just poke the ears through the holes.
Or that. But because they're straight, it might look a bit weird.
Everything looks weird anyway, but weird's better than nothing.
But cat ears, can you see it's at the side?
Mm.
Whereas it might be harder for bun ears. But if they just had a hat and just got rid of the ears, then there wouldn't be any problems.
The only thing I'm complaining about is not the fact that there's a lack of backwards compatibility, which everyone else is complaining about. I'm complaining about the fact that when they create a new outfit, like the school outfit, or anything that comes out, why can't Viera and Hrothgar use said hat? Why is this reward obtainable in the game? Not like some of the gear, just doesn't have a visual representation on a Viera. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. If that was the way it was going to be in a design process, scrap it. Try again.
Speaking of Viera, I want them to make Viera sandals for other races because I want to wear the Viera sandals as a Makote. And you can't tell me that they have special feet because they wear normal shoes like the rest of us. So you can't really say that. And it's like...
Viera feet are different.
Yes, but Vieras can wear sandals and they look exactly the same as every other feet.
I think they have...
No, but in-game, hypothetically, like, see that Makote in the corner with the sandals?
Yeah.
If they wore them... it would look exactly the same on a Viera. You won't see any different
Apart
in the
from
foot.
they have 3 thingies and then like a split, don't they?
Right,
the heel.
yeah, but you're not getting my point.
I get your point.
It's just shoes. Or make a Mikote variant, please. I need the Viera shoes. That's why I was the Viera, because I want the shoes.
But you can't be a Viera because you like hats.
I know! Give me... of Mikote sandals that are Mikote specific, but they look like the Viera sandals because I love the Viera
We're trying
sandals.
to go away from race and gender specific here. Not get more of it.
Okay, every class can wear them then. Make human friendly ones. Make
yeah, there we go. Now you're talking.
Here is human, isn't it?
The recent patch they made it so that males can wear more of the female stuff. And
I
vice
want
versa.
also the Valentine's Day, the waistcoat. I want that to be worn by females because that is a nice waistcoat.
We said that back when it came out. We were like, why is this not equipable? Because some people might, you're just looking at a naked guy walk by. Some people might know of certain third-party tools that we can't really discuss, where people have proven that these outfits can be worn by the other gender, and it would be as simple as a tick box for them to just enable it in the code, but they deliberately don't for no particular reason.
Or if they're not going to do it, can they make one that looks exactly like the Valentine twins?
Do Square Enix and do the people behind Final Fantasy XIV realise that if you tick that box and allow for males to wear those skirts that might feel a bit weird, or for those female characters to wear those jackets from those male outfits, do they realise that since those items get put onto the cash shop a year afterwards, that their profits would double? Do they realise that?
No, they don't, obviously.
Because you would earn double the money, because there would be less people going, Meoni, I really wish I could wear that jacket on my female Makote. And I would say, well, it's a shame, isn't it? The best you can do is create a forum post and see if you can get some traction with some developer eyes, basically, because I know they look at Reddit and they look at the forums as well. But it is a little bit weird. It's like you would make more money. I know there are cultural differences that we won't get into now because they are like opening a can of worms if we talk about them. For many specific reasons, I'm sure you can imagine as a viewer. But really, let's be honest. It's 2021. Let's have those restrictions thrown away, and let this company make money off of our choices and give us more variety, because that's what you want, isn't it? More variety, more choice, more, you know.
Also, I would like all the different hempen chemises to be bought.
Yeah.
Because I like the Hure one, and it's the same for
multi-race stuff.
Yeah. So the hempen chemise I like on certain, like I think the bunny one's quite nice. I think if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're all slightly different.
It's got patterns on it.
The Hyera one is my favourite. It's incredibly overly
It's
overly sexualized in every single way.
That's my favourite one as well.
But every other race just gets kind of like an version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
I mean, the Makoto one's not bad, but I would prefer the Hure one on
and
my
if they're
Makoto.
like, if the excuse ever comes up where it's like, oh no, that would involve changing that particular thing, and if we change it, it won't work. My argument to that would be, well, you've added altered versions of those old clothes. There's literally on the market board altered versions of like stuff. I don't know if you've seen that. There's the altered felt robe, for example, which has less restrictions on it. So they're adding stuff with less restrictions, like the Sky Pirate stuff. We've got the replica Sky Pirate stuff.
You can wear it to anything.
Right, exactly. So you can wear the tanking stuff as a healer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. That needs to be more of.
Yeah, that
whoever is in charge of that idea, give them a raise.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I don't know if there's a budget on how many items they're allowed to add to a patch. I doubt that, considering how many thousand was added last time. But, just do more of that stuff if you can, because it was so good.
Agreed.
It was so good. Other thing we have to praise this expansion for was the addition of new dyes. That was my favourite part of the Ishgard restoration.
Yes.
When we got gunmetal black, pearl white, we got the dragoon blue, we got the, oh my god, ruby red has saved everything. Dalamud annoys me. Dalamud red was like my go-to for the longest time. I dyed it on so many different things, from a red mage, for so many different things, for white mage glamours. And I was like, oh, it's really pretty, it's the best thing. And then Ruby Red came out, and it was that meme where you're stood next to Dalamud and you're looking the other way. It's that meme. It's like, oh my god, something nicer. Damn, she's sexy.
Well, even the metallic brass dye,
nice.
Because I like, it's not too gold.
It looks more gold than the gold.
Well, the gold is like overly gold, and sometimes I don't like that. Whereas
the gold's
the brass
too yellowy.
Kind of, it's nice. It's really nice.
It goes with the metallic silver more as a metallic gold than the metallic gold does.
Yeah.
If you look at metallic silver and then you look at metallic gold isn't metallic gold, it's metallic yellow.
Yeah.
And then metallic yellow is more gold than the gold.
Yeah.
It's like, huh. But turquoise as well, like ruby red, turquoise. Oh my god, the turquoise dye. Oh, it's so good. They're my favourite things.
I will say, I want more pastels.
Yeah. You know what I want? You know what they've done with ruby red?
Yes.
It's like RGB red.
Yes.
You know dragoon blue is RGB blue.
Yeah.
Where is our green? Where is our RGB green?
That's fair.
Where is our emerald green?
Like how the samurai weapon dyes that one from that
bright.
Green.
I need a green that bright that's not metallic.
So brighter than that imp.
Yeah, much. Well, yeah, we're talking like neon green.
Yeah.
Where are those colours? We've got ruby red. That's neon red.
Yeah.
We've got dragoon blue and turquoise. They're the different shades of super neon vibrance.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my green? I speak for all of the people who like green, including Grur, who probably will be listening to this at some point, because he watches videos all the time. Shout outs to Grur on Ragnarok, right? He'd be like, yes, we need more green, because he always wears green, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He loves green.
It's his favourite colour.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true, though. It's like, where is the green? Or where is the purple?
Give us more green!
Gloom purple and current purple, they're not good enough.
No, there's not actually a bright purple.
Here's another thing that annoys me that will instantly annoy you when I bring it up.
What?
Metallic red.
Oh, I don't like. Well, some things dye nice metallic red, but it's very rare.
The metallic red dye is not metallic red. It's like currant. It's not red. It's not a metallic red, is it? If you were to think of metallic red, you'd think of ruby with a bit of
shine.
Yeah. You don't get that, do you?
No.
You get like a weird purple that doesn't look right.
Purpley pink, yeah.
It's like metallic pink, isn't it, basically? Yeah, bit of a tangent, but the new dyes really, really have changed the game for me.
Yeah, but about the colours, all I have to say to you is paint it red. It's pink, isn't it?
The paint it red emote. Square Enix's version of red, yeah.
Paint it pink.
Yeah, paint it pink it should be called, yeah. Yeah, talking about the new emote in the patch from the treasure map dungeons, which is you get it from the treasure maps. And
Decadent Decoration.
That's the one. Wow, you remembered that.
Yes.
And you learn it and you get 4 emotes out of it. One's black, one's yellow, one's blue, and one's red, quote unquote. And the red is actually, pink. So, that's a funny looking red right there. That does not look like red to me. No. But there's been some amazing emotes and dances and interactions. The RP side of the game in Shadowbringers, 10 times better than Stormblood. That Yoshi P and the team are actually looking at what people do in the game, and 90% of the time between the queuing for the hardcore stuff or waiting around for people is housing, is glamour, is colouring things, is ocean fishing, which we haven't mentioned, which is amazing. All of these little things have made this expansion 10 times better than the previous one, in my opinion. And I don't know, I don't think there's any better way to sum up 2020, at least in the game, than saying that it's been a phenomenal success in comparison to what we had before. There's record numbers of people joining the game all the time, probably the highest we've ever seen against competitors. It's a really good time to be in a game, and there's a lot of criticism, which is another thing that I'm valuing. You should never be complacent with anything in a video game. You should always be nagging them in a constructive way. And I find that as much as people are like, oh no, you can't complain about this particular part because you're not a true fan or whatever, I think that like I said earlier in the year, it is important to be critical about the games that you love, and people have forgotten that. So as much as I say, oh, this is the thing I hated the most, or disliked the most rather, or this is where they could improve on, these are constructive things. At the end of the day, this is a game that we all sink way too many hours into and we love, but there's so much room for improvement, and we should never lose that vision that there's always room for improvement, because there is no such thing as a perfect game. The housing system in this game sucks.
Yeah.
That needs improving. It sucks. They know it sucks, and they're stuck in a corner with not many options at the moment, because radical decisions cost a lot of money.
Yeah. And
it's a risk. So they're focusing on the stuff that does matter, more importantly, which is your storyline and
glamour
and accessibility to the game.
Yes.
And New Game Plus. The new player experience now is ridiculous. You can outlevel every single MSQ quest without doing any side quests. They give way too much experience, as you've seen on Mr. Happy streams and Worked Games recently doing a playthrough. If you want to check those out on Twitch. It's eye-opening how much they've tried to cater to the new player. And it's a good thing, but maybe they've gone a little bit far, I would say. The reason I say that is Coin Counter, the boss from Aurum Vale. They've put tells for all of the mechanics.
Oh, that's no. Yeah, they've made him ugly by doing that. No.
You see, the thing is, the reason that instance was so important to have some of the actions hidden from you is so that you've learnt to look at the cast bar. It taught you that not everything in the game is told to you, and you actually have to go, oh, look, he's literally raising his fist and casting 1,000-ton swing. Maybe I shouldn't be near the boss. But now there's literally a reticle on the floor. And it was the first real time that you saw that. I mean, you saw it a bit, but first real time in a dungeon where it's like Aurum Vale, you know. It's like, but he did it for all of the bosses in there. I'm like, what are you doing? You're simplifying this too much.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make people understand that, you know, you can't fall on that crutch forever. Because as soon as they get to any of the higher level dungeons, they're like, why was that not told to me? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
I've heard people say it. And I'm like, well, no.
It's because you're supposed to keep an eye on the game. You're not supposed to
That's
just
right.
go AFK and like, yeah, just auto attack and just look away from.
Yeah, basically. And I find it a backward step. So I really hope that they don't do more of that. And I know that sounds like a sadist thing to say, but it's better for the new player experience for them to learn earlier that the game isn't fair in all aspects. You know, if you just play it like that, you need to go, right, this person's charging up an attack. Maybe I don't want to be in front of it and get vaporized, you know. But instead it's like, oh, here you go. Here's a line AoE that's displayed for you. Just step out of it. And then later on they don't get the AoE when they do Eureka or something, and then they die.
Yep.
But this is bullshit. I must have lagged. No, you stood in front of a boss, or you stood close to a swipe.
But that's like, when will they eventually, for that new dungeon in Shadowbringers, the one where you can see Hildy in, when they're going to start telegraphing, because the end boss kind of turns at you and then raises his sword, and if you don't move, he's going to hit you.
Yeah, you're supposed to basically see that he's facing you and then move.
Yeah, so when are they going to add don't add the markers to that, don't.
No, I don't think they will. The whole idea that they did this is to try and help the new player experience. But in my opinion, which is my own opinion, I think that it's more of a hindrance than a help. Because I think that the sooner that you teach people what the game is actually like, without sugaring it, the better.
Yeah.
You need to tell people that you can't always rely on lines.
Nope.
At no point do they ever tell you that in any of the help menus or anything. That, oh yeah, by the way, what you've just learnt for the last 20 hours, yeah, it doesn't mean crap because some of the stuff's not actually telegraphed. Or at least it's telegraphed in other ways, like a blinking eye or whatever. But I think that should be taught in the Novice Hall. I think the Novice Hall is the biggest pile of crap there is, personally. I think that the Novice Hall is sorely needing an overhaul. It doesn't do anything, does it?
Not really. Well, if
The
you
healing
complete it,
one's
you get
crap.
the
brand new gear.
Yeah, and that helps with EXP gain up to level,
Right.
50?
But does it teach you anything about the
No, it
game?
doesn't.
Does it teach you about tanking?
No.
Not really.
No, because I went in with my warrior. Yeah, no, it didn't teach me anything.
No, it didn't teach
so
you
I
anything,
went
did
into
it?
Palace of the Dead and learned that way.
Right, exactly. So there's nothing that's going to beat you actually going into content with other players and actually doing something. But that's where Novice Hall fails, because look at the trust system. In also a Shadowbringers edition, lest we take that for granted, trust system, actually really fantastic for people who play DPS. Or anybody who wants to try something out without ruining someone else's time.
Yeah, I did my tank with Holminster Switch.
Yeah, because you're not going to pee anyone off by dying or failing, are you?
No, exactly.
It's such a fantastic addition that we take for granted. Oh, it's trust system, oh, it's slower. Yeah, it's slower. But the reward is that you get all the loot and you can learn how to play things.
Yeah, but it sucks that you have the squadron, but they're rubbish AI compared to the trust.
Well, if you saw some of my early videos when we were doing the squadron stuff, every time the squadron system came out and additions to it, I was saying, look, this is awful, but it's nice to see the progression. And slowly they figured out new things and they worked it out.
So it'd be nice.
And it evolved into the trust system.
It would be nice if you could do the trust system for newer people, for an old, like on a New Game Plus. So you could do the old content with the trust system rather than the squadron.
That's what they've talked about.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they said that eventually they want to revisit older content with the trust system, but that's not currently a priority.
Right.
But it is something they're going to do.
Cool. Okay.
We're talking like post-game
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, like what they did with 11, only not as not what they did with 11.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Basically. You know, the game's dead now, guys. Here you go. Here's the ability to do everything in the game with NPCs. Yeah, probably not that. But it would be nice to do like a run of... I've always said this as well. Why can we not do a trust run with the Scions of Return to Ivalice? Why can't we do alliance raids? We've got enough Scions. We've got Balderon and Hoary Boulder and the rest of them. Let's put them to use. Bring in the squadron. Bring in Merylweb. Bring in some Grand Company members. Get Raban in there as a tank.
Oh, God.
One-armed tank, but, you know, it will still work. How cool would that be to do, like, a trust run of an alliance raid? I will not rest until I have my alliance raid trust system. I've talked about this too many times over the last couple of years. 8-man raiding would be simple with a trust. But you'd only ever be able to do the normal mode stuff.
Well, yeah, because you'd choose it to get all the items, wouldn't you?
That's right, yeah. See, they were worried about the idea that the trust system would take away from people queuing, which it hasn't in the slightest, because they're slower, deliberately, by design. But people will still enjoy the trust system. There are other benefits.
I agree. I can't wait. There's going to be a third Nier at some point, isn't there? A third Nier.
There should be, yeah.
Thing.
That should be soon.
I can't wait to see what they bring out for that.
In a patch or two, right? 2 patches, something like that?
Something like that. Normally, that's what happens.
It's a 0.5 patch usually, isn't it? Something like that?
Probably.
Probably at the same time as the Alliance, Restoration.
Yes.
The last phase of that. Yeah. I think overall, though, 2020, as much as we can say the real world sucked, Final Fantasy did not.
Yeah.
In the slightest. If you compare it to the previous stuff we've gone through, leaps and bounds better, even with the restrictions, working at home and stuff. Absolutely phenomenal work. And, I'm really hyped to see what happens.
So am I. They've done a really good job. A really, really, really good job.
What are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to finally getting the Alliance Beast Tribe quest to max them all out, because I've maxed out all the Shadowbringers ones now, so all I need is that quest to rear its head.
What do you reckon the reward might be?
It would be funny if we got a giant Ronka mount.
Oh my god.
That would be amazing. Like a proper giant worm.
We got a Ronka.
Yeah, we got a Ronka mount, but it's like a giant worm one. So it's like the size of the secret snake. But it's a Ronkan. I think that would be quite cool. Or just an amalgamation of all of them mixed into one.
You've been playing too much Eden, I think. Is this you closing your eyes and imagining a mount, and it's just like a Ronka dwarf and
thing with pig wings?
Yeah.
That can snort.
It's more likely it will get some kind of dance, right?
A dance or a minion.
No, we'll probably get minions, yeah.
Or it's most likely going to be an emote and minion.
I'm excited to see what it is, but I'm not that excited this time because nothing can top that Namazu one.
Or you can get a giant dwarf head like the Namazu head.
Don't want it.
Oh, I would.
Not a fan.
I know you don't like things with big heads.
No, I hate chibi stuff.
Or I'm trying to think what else they could do.
That's what you're looking forward to the most.
Yes.
Seriously.
I want to see what. Well, obviously for new story content and Palava when they bring it out eventually. I can't wait. And new areas if they bring out new areas, because I always love new areas.
I'm personally looking forward to the inevitable battle with Diamond Weapon as part of the Sorrow of Werlight questline. Because the last cutscene of that, which we can't talk about, really annoyed me in ways where I wanted to wipe the smug grin off that guy's face. Also, the end of the actual storyline as well. Because for reasons that I can't talk about, with new characters. The new character that was introduced in 5.4, with that big flappy thing.
Yes.
Yeah, the big flappy thing. That's all I'll say. Hopefully people get that. The thing with wings. That got me interested, especially in terms of looking up to the sky at night and the possibilities of the next expansion. It has me goosebumps.
Goosebumpies.
Yes. Okay. I would love a moon expansion. I would love that. I would not have time for anything else other than just playing around on the moon.
Okay.
And fight. Oh, can you imagine that? It'd be so cool.
It would be cool.
Like elegant structures and like weird structures on the side of the moon and like raids. It would be such a cool area with craters and just...
It would be cool.
And we'd have like a magic ability to breathe there. Like we have a magic ability to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
And it would have magic gravity.
Yes.
Magic gravity. Oh dear. It'd be cool.
It would be cool.
That's what I want from the future. A moon expansion. And before that, I would like there to be the end to a certain character before the next expansion, because I'm fed up of that character. And I would like to see more stuff with Grahatir, because I think that he's actually kind of cool now.
Yeah,
he's grown on me in a big way.
He's senpai to a lot of people.
Yeah, he's definitely grown as a character in a big way. And I'd like to see what happens there.
So would I.
Yeah, I think this year's going to be quite exciting, and we should at some point be hearing news of the next expansion, because we've not had FanFests, so they're building up to some kind of announcement.
Because they'd normally do it at FanFest, wouldn't they? Yeah.
So they've been closed-mouthed about this, and we know they've been working on it for the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ever since Shadowbringers launched, was when they were working on it hard. Yeah. So they've had 2 years nearly of prog. So I cannot wait to even hear even the little tinkling of it. Someone say like it was Forspoken or something as a registered trademark. Could be anything. And the meme was that it was foreskin. I remember that meme.
Foreskin.
I was like, oh, please let that not be Forspoken now. Please not. I don't want that. Just not another S word as an expansion. Because we had Stormblood and Shadowbringers, which have basically the same abbreviation. Can we have something else? Yeah.
Because you go from Heaven's Ward.
Yeah.
Into Sir and Sher.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited to see what they come up with, but I just hope that it's got a big moon on the front cover and like just Zodiac. Just all the Zodiac. Give me all the Zodiac. Give me a massive Elder Primal battle or something, or a teaser of it. Give me a statue of Zodiac as the collector's edition.
That would be cool.
On a moon.
That would be cool.
Like a moon statue with Zodiac clung to the side of it, or breaking free from a moon and there's just cracks in it and it's just his eye. Oh, I would pay so much money for that. Just for him to be unleashed and you're like, oh crap, we're all dead. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But 2020, not the worst year for games.
No.
It's sad about the real life situation, but hopefully will rectify itself in 2021. But for anyone that's been affected by it, and like the rest of us who are doing our best to stay indoors and not make the problem worse, we're all in the same boat, and hopefully things improve soon, because we would all love a return to normal. And I think we've all learned a lot about what it means to be human at the end of the day by being in this situation. And hopefully people will learn a bit more compassion from it. That's the only positives you can take from it. But here's to the future, and here's to some great games, including Final Fantasy XIV. Which is about to get really, 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 really good, I can assure you. So, all the hype. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you so much, Fran.
Thank you.
I just thought we'd sit down and talk about stuff for a bit.
Yeah.
nice long video for people to listen to, maybe on their long road trips or whatever. I know a few people who watch me miss this kind of video, mostly because they travel in trucks across the country in America or what have you. So best of wishes for everybody for the new year, and I really do hope that things go well for you. So much love, thank you kindly for watching, and we'll
see you in the next video.
No, we'll see you next time. Whose outro were you doing? Is that your outro?
Maybe.
Is that what you're going to use?
I've been watching too much YouTube, I guess.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Fran might be starting streaming soon. We'll have to see.
Maybe.
Have to see.
Smiley face.
More like a winky face.
Okay, winky tongue out face.
Winky tongue out face. Okay. All right, tongues out for your viewers. Tongues out.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, see you all later.
Bye.
Have a good one.